Shout out, though, man. Bigger than ringing the bell. Bring your top down.
Hey, hello, they know, hello, they know, hello, they know.
Good morning. Happy Labor Day. Welcome to D1 Sports Talk Podcast. This is your boy Type. We got the main man, Coach, with us. Coach, good morning.
What's up?
How you feeling this morning? It was a late night. It's an early morning. How things going, Coach?
I'm good, man. It's a long weekend for some, regular for others.
What is it for you?
Regular. It'll be regular. Still meetings. Got practice on Monday. Got a JV game on Monday. It's another day, bro.
Are you calling the plays for the JV team over there, Coach?
This past week I did. We got a new guy on the staff, so Coach put him on the block last week. So I don't know if he's gonna let him call plays again next week or not.
Well, let's get into it.
Coach. We got us a quarterback coach now.
Y'all got a quarterback coach, so the head coach is no longer the quarterback coach? He's not the whisperer?
Nah, he's not the whisperer no more.
So how you guys do this week, Cole? I know what happened. I'm a part of the Flip Phone Society, so obviously we get the text messages. For those that are joining us for season 2 of D1 Sports Talk Podcast, the Flip Phone Society is a group of guys that we opted out of GroupMe. We opted out of all of these social media platforms that allow us to stay connected, and we've decided to communicate via group text message. It's kind of a throwback considering this is social media era. We kind of call ourselves the Flip Phone Society. It's a group of 4 of us in that society. And you all, as part of season 2, will get to know these guys. We call them on the show, "Don't Put Your Hands on Me." Gus was catfished. And then obviously myself, Tight, and Coach. So as you pick up on season 2 of D1 Sports Talk Podcast, when you hear us say those names, we're talking about guys that are in our Flip Phone Society. That's what we're referring to, and throughout the season 2, we are going to mention. We may read a text from the Flip Phone Society. I kind of feel interested in reading the text this week, but just to get everybody up to speed, that's who Coach is referring to, and that's what I'm referring to when I say I know what happened with Coach and his team this past Friday night. So, Coach, if you would like to go ahead and share with the listeners how you guys fared Friday night under the lights.
We got blasted. Final score 42-14. We played Central Phoenix City, who was the top 10 team in the state preseason. They were our region champs last year. We played at their place. Again, just, I think at times we out-coached ourselves, and then at other times the mistakes got us. It started early. We teach our back on kickoff return out to ever drift back. The ball go over your head. Deep guy has to get it, and our deep guy misjudged on the ball, and we fumbled an opening kickoff inside our own red zone. We down 7-0 already. We stalled our first offense possession. They get the ball back, drive down the field and score. We get the ball back, we drive down the field and score. So it's 14-7. Go in at half, 14-7. We come out. We put together a decent drive. We stall out again inside the red zone. They end up scoring. We try to run a trick play. Mishap again. They score. Eventually, they get up 28-14, and we go back and forth just about the whole third quarter. And then after that, we trying to make something happen, and we get a pick six. Try to run a screen that get picked off, took back for a touchdown. So late in the fourth, the game got out of hand. So it was our first region game. So that what makes that one hurt so bad. Other than the fact that you lost to probably your number 2 rival on your entire schedule. This week we'll be back at home for our second region game against Prattville High School. And it's a game we gotta win. I mean, you can't put yourself in the hole like that in the region, or else you play all hopes kind of get dashed. So I thought our kids played hard the entire game. That's something I've noticed in the last 2 weeks. They don't have any kind of give up about themselves. And that's good. But, at some point in time, they got to reap some kind of reward for playing that way. So hopefully that'll happen this week. So we're back at home. We 1-2. And hoping we can beat the Prattville Lions and get the 2-2 and 1-1 in the region.
Coach, is there turmoil in in you guys' locker room, Coach?
Ain't no turmoil in the locker room at all. I mean, our kids, I hadn't seen not one single person get down on somebody else.
Not between the kids, between the coaches. Not that I would expect you to answer. Not that I would expect you to answer that question.
Nah, we don't have any turmoil in our coaches. Yeah.
Okay, who y'all got this upcoming week, Coach?
Prattville Lions.
Okay, is that a winnable game, or is Prattville ranked in the state?
They are not ranked. They actually got blasted this past weekend. Mm-hmm. Looking at the film, I'm trying to figure out how they got beat that bad. But I haven't finished watching it. But we beat them last year in a very thrilling game at their place. Late in the ball game, we hit a big screen pass that ended up winning that game for us. So they'll definitely be looking. And the fact that they got beat real bad this past week, I'm expecting them to come with all guns blazing this week. So it's a game we really need to try to win. We really need to win Friday.
And is this an area game?
This is a region game, absolutely.
And
both teams are 0-1 in the region.
And you all are playing at home?
We at home.
Okay.
We at home.
Okay. Well, good luck to you, Coach. You and your staff. Coach, sound a little bit upbeat. Coach, you sound a little down after the loss from last week. I understand, and we're gonna get into it. We talk XCC games, but Coach, you sound a little down this week, Coach. You doing okay?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm doing fine. I mean, but you got at some point in time, you got to get that taste out of your mouth. The other thing you got to understand is, I don't just coach at Auburn High. I am Auburn High. I'm from here. I'm born and raised here. You just lost two embarrassing games to your 2 biggest rivals. The 2 teams we just played this last week is like our Alabama and our Georgia. If you're an Auburn fan, you understand what I mean. And at some point in time, you got to get that taste out of your mouth. So, it is what it is. I'm just ready to get back to work and get back on the field and get this W.
I understand, Coach. Coach, can I shout out one team, Coach? Can I shout out the BC Rain Red Raiders, Coach? BC Rain Red Raiders, Coach, are undefeated. Had an opportunity. They played LaFleur last week. They played LaFleur last week, Coach, and they got the W. So I was extremely thrilled and excited to see what they've been able to accomplish over the past few weeks. So shout out to the BC Rain Red Raiders, Coach. Were there any other high school games that you wanted to point out, or any high school things that stood out to you that were notable this week, Coach?
No, I don't think anything else big happened this week that, to my knowledge, in high school football. As the region games are starting to pick up now, so things about to start taking shape now. Some of these bigger ball games of the season are going to be played this coming up week. Hoover and Spain Park will play. 2 rivals, 2 teams that played each other in the Final Four last year. So that should be one very interesting game going on in the state this coming up week.
Absolutely. Well, Cole, let's get into these. I appreciate that update. Let's kind of transition to the next segment. Can you explain to the listeners, Coach, our next segment, shout outs and disappointments? For those that listened last year to the show, they'll understand what the shout outs and disappointments are. But can you kind of give some background as to what we attempt to do with shout outs and disappointments?
Shout out to this part, basically an opportunity for you to call somebody out for either call someone or a team out for doing something great or disastrous over the weekend. A lot of times this is non-SEC, didn't necessarily have to be an SEC a person or a team. It could be a social issue that a player did or anything that doesn't necessarily have to be football stat related, I guess you can say. But just shout out and disappointment opportunity to highlight and lowlight some of the weekend's best and worst.
Well, let's do it, Coach. You want to go first, or would you prefer me to go
you
first?
Go ahead.
All right, we're gonna start off with disappointments for the week. First disappointment goes to LSU Les Miles. And this is not for the game, but earlier in the week, Coach, LSU Les Miles made a statement that would prohibit his players from Lambeau leaping if they were to score a touchdown. I thought that was outright wrong. I felt like it's not a lot of times or a lot of opportunities in which those guys would get a chance to play at Lambeau Field. So I felt like, given the opportunity, Les Miles should have allowed them to do the Lambeau leap. So I was really disappointed that he did not allow them to do the Lambeau leap. I felt like that's something that those kids should have earned and something that they would have remembered for the rest of their lives had they had the opportunity to score a touchdown. The second disappointment, Coach, just goes to the entire SEC. And we'll kind of discuss this, and we'll kind of talk about the SEC in our next segment. But Coach, and I have a theory, Coach, and I won't reveal it now. But what I'm learning, Coach, from the Flip Phone Society is that if you don't get it on tape, if you don't get it on writing, it really don't count. And then if you do get it on tape or if you do get it on routing, it has no meaning because you might have been wrong about something else. So I guess the point that I'm making is, in our next segment, I'm going to give a theory as to why the SEC is on this list of a disappointment, because the SEC had a bad weekend. Teams like Mississippi State lost to South Alabama out of the Sun Belt Conference. You got teams like Kentucky losing to Southern Mississippi, a team and an organization that a SEC school should not lose to. You got Tennessee going down to the wire. Obviously, Auburn losing to Clemson. It was just an embarrassing weekend for the SEC. LSU losing to Wisconsin. It was just an embarrassing week for the SEC, I believe. I don't think the SEC should panic. I felt like there was a lot of panic yesterday from members of the Flip Phone Society. So I don't think you should panic, but I feel like the parity between the SEC conference and the rest of the country has really tightened, Coach. And I have a theory as to why, and I kind of wanted to address that during our SEC topic and our SEC conversation. But those were my two big disappointments. Coach, did you have any other disappointment that you'd like to add, Coach?
Yeah, I would like to give my first disappointment to the TCU defense. Gary Patterson, who has kind of made his living being a great defensive coordinator, or being known as a great defensive coach, I should say. Last year, I felt like I put an Amber Alert out on their defense at a couple times last year. And they got a lot of guys returning this year, so, you expected their defense to play well. But they gave up 41 points to South Dakota State. That was something that I just did not see coming. This big disappointment to LSU, Mississippi State, and even Tennessee. Just teams that you felt like would come out and play better than they did, but for whatever reason they didn't. But it is what it is. Again, no big deal. It's game one. I tell all the fans at those schools, chill out. Chill out. But those are my two big disappointments.
What you say, Coach? Say it one more time, Coach. Why you?
Chill out.
It's week one, Coach. It's September. It's the week of September the 3rd, Coach. Everybody needs to. And I'm gonna say this: SEC fans, take a chill pill. Slow down.
Well, and that even goes for teams that won. Chill out.
Everybody. That goes for everybody. Just chill out. It's week one. A lot's gonna happen.
The sample size is not big enough yet for a pattern to have been formed. Chill out.
It's not. Just chill out. Just chill out. It's week one. After a win or a loss in week one, that ain't gonna crown nobody. Just wait. You got a lot more games to be played. You still have 11 more games to be played. There's still going to be that one big weekend where there's going to be major upsets. It always happens. There's going to be a lot of shuffling around of guys. Injuries will happen, unfortunately. So just take a chill pill. Take a chill pill. Don't get so, I started looking at some of the hypothetical, Coach, in the Flip Phone Society after one week, and it was just outstanding, Coach. It was just, what if this happened? What if that happened? Just chill. Just chill. So I just want to give that, and I'll reiterate that in our next segment, Coach. But I thought you did a good job on the disappointments. Let's talk about shout-outs, Coach. I got a few shout-outs, Coach. I have a shout-out going to congratulations to Kirby Smart and Will Muschamp, two coaches in their debut games that had an opportunity to get the victory. Specifically, I think both coaches. It's hard to win in a Kirby Smart winning and beating North Carolina. Georgia Bulldogs beat North Carolina in the Georgia Dome. That's more like a home game for Georgia. But Will Muschamp taking his team on the road. Not a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball, but being able to find guys to put into that lineup is amazing. So shout out to and getting the victory. I think he found him a quarterback, Coach. What's the kid's name that played at Opelika last year? Is it Orr, Coach?
No.
What was that kid's name?
It escapes me at the moment, but that's not him.
Okay. Well, they played a freshman, and the kid looked good, so shout out to them. Shout out goes to Coach. I like to shout out Hurts, Jalen Hurts Stewart out of Alabama. I am extremely surprised at the confidence that Nick Saban showed in playing Jalen Hurts, Coach. I was surprised. I had no idea that the kid Hurts would play that many snaps in that ball game. He didn't get to start. Did you see any of that game, Coach? Were you able to watch any of that Alabama game?
No, I didn't. I watched probably maybe like a quarter of it, first quarter of it.
Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in the SEC. But shout out to those guys. Outside of conference, three guys I like to shout out. Well, a few things I like to shout out outside of the SEC conference. Travis Rudolph. Are you familiar with that name, Coach?
Yep.
Coach, I want to shout out Travis Rudolph. There was an autistic boy sitting at a lunch table by himself, and this just touched my heart, Coach. And the reason it touched my heart because I've seen this story, and I'm so disconnected nowadays from little children and from little folks. Not as much as you. You are a high school coach and you are a PE coach at an elementary school, but When you have these kids with special needs, kids, and this young man was an autistic boy. I forget how having someone to eat lunch with could be so much of a big deal. And this kid had been eating lunch by himself uh, for I'm assuming over the past year, from going back into last year, and his mom would feel so sad and so down because this little man was eating by himself. But FSU player Travis Rudolph, who was visiting the school, that elementary school, he saw the young man eating by himself, so he got him a slice of pizza. He went over there and sat with the young man and ate lunch, and I know it made the autistic boy's day, but it made and he has a friend that he'll never forget, and he has a friend that he'll always have for the rest of his life. That young boy, but his mother was just so excited and so pleased that this was one day out of the year that her son had someone to eat lunch with, man. And that just really touches my heart because, again, I'm so disconnected from the elementary schools these days, and I forget how serious it can be for you to have to eat lunch by yourself. Or they say that this young boy was not even getting invited to birthday parties anymore, and how from a parent's perspective that could be so damaging. She just wants her son to just have friends. So shout out goes to Travis Rudolph. I like to also shout out Coach. I put a tweet out on the D1 Sports Talk podcast. A tweet out that if you have Twitter, go follow D1 Sports Talk podcast. We do actively tweet, but I put a tweet out that basically said Lamar Jackson and Greg Ward Jr. of University of Houston, and Lamar Jackson, who is of Louisville, would be a perfect fit for a Gus Malzahn offense. Shout out to both of those guys for the numbers they put up. Coach, I am a coach. My second school is the University of Houston. I do have a degree from the University of Houston, so by default, I do have the right to root for those guys. Coach, they look good. That was by far the best team I saw play this weekend, and I watched a lot of football. University of Houston almost appeared to be in mid-season form. And if those guys can find a way to go undefeated, they're going to shake up the playoff. But again, this is week one. A lot could happen. I'm not anticipating those guys going undefeated. They got some tough games on the schedule. They still have to play Lamar Jackson in Louisville. They have to play Memphis. They got some hard games. They got to play Cincinnati, coached by Auburn's very own former Auburn coach, Tommy Tuberville. So I'm not going to crown University of Houston after 1 week because they do have a tough schedule. But Greg Ward Jr., coach, I like him. I feel like he got a knack for the game. Lamar Jackson, you know how high I've been on Lamar Jackson. So I don't have to elaborate on how great I feel Lamar Jackson is, because the moment he has a bad game, the flip phone society will crucify you, coach. I got crucified last night, and I'll leave it at that. And then the last game I would like to shout out, or the last shout out I have, is the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Coach, did you see what Nebraska did to honor their punter that was killed in that car accident?
I did.
Touching, coach. Coach, this is when you have stories like Nebraska and Travis Rudolph, this is what college football is about. Coach, I got a little tear-eye for both Travis Rudolph and Nebraska. But for those that didn't see the Nebraska footage and don't know the story, they lost their punter this past offseason. And with them losing their punter, they ran everybody out on the field for the very first punt of the game. But they did not have a punter out there, and they took a delay of game, coach. And I'm gonna tell you what was even more touching, coach. their opponent declined the penalty. That's a showmanship, coach. That's showmanship. So I felt like those are some of the stories. And I think I'm missing one story. I want to pull this up real fast, coach. I want to pull this up really fast because I want to make certain we honor this kid, James Conner. Are you familiar with that name, coach?
The name don't ring a bell right now.
James Conner is the running back from the Pittsburgh Panthers that recently was cured of cancer and was returning to play his first football game. He's a running back at Pittsburgh. And again, he was able to score 2 touchdowns after being cured for cancer. He was able to score his first play in the game and scored 2 touchdowns versus Villanova in a victory, 28-7. We like to shout him out. So again, we like college football is bigger than life. And it gives players the opportunity to really put a spotlight on different things. And this is another example of James Conner defeating cancer and also being able to score 2 touchdowns. So shout out to James Conner as well. Coach, that's all I got. Oh, last shout out before I forget. Coach, we did an interview. Coach, you're going to like this. Just got the text message literally 5 seconds ago. And just got the text. Destin Hood has been called up to the Miami Marlins. He's going to the majors, coach. Shout out to Destin. We had him on Free Lunch Podcast. The kid that bypassed high school and bypassed college to play professional basketball, he just got his call, coach. That's amazing. So shout out to Destin Hood. He's going to be playing. He's a Miami Marlin.
Congratulations, Destin. All right. I echo your sentiments on Travis Rudolph and the Nebraska situation and everything you had to say about Greg Ward. I think he's an outstanding football player. I hail my shout-outs for Lamar Jackson this week due to the opponent that they played against, but he is a dynamic football player. Shout out to Nick Chubb. Great return to college football. Glad you're doing okay. Christian McCaffrey, I thought, put on a great show the other night. Even though he got one of his more dynamic plays called back due to penalty. My last shout out goes to a kid that I know personally, who also suffered an injury, was unable to play his senior year at Auburn High School, running back by the name of Tyus Flakes. Jacksonville State decided to still give this kid a scholarship. And he played in their opening game this week. Had 12 carries for 72 yards. So congratulations to Tyus and Jacksonville State for picking up a win against the North Alabama Lions. And those are my shout outs for this week.
And the Flip Phone Society is in full effect this morning. I can't wait. Go, let's transition, Coach. Go, the Flip Phone Society in full effect that week, Coach. After Auburn lost, Coach, it sometimes you would think the earth was falling, Coach. I wouldn't mind reading some of these off, but maybe we have a segment, Coach, where we read off of one of the messages from the Flip Phone Society just to give the audience a idea of what we talking about. I think Coach, we could have a segment off of some of these text messages. Coach, what you think?
Oh yeah, it's always something interesting. I see my phone buzzing, but I haven't read any of them yet.
Coach, you should look at it. Coach, you should look at it. Let's transition to the next topic, Coach. Let's talk. Last year, Coach, we did a segment that was a real popular segment, and it was popular because it was you brought a lot of insight, advice. We have one of the guys in the society, Don't Put Your Hands on Me, who really is someone that a lot of these tips may apply to. But Coach, can you? We want to transition to Coach's Little League tip of the week, Coach. What's your Little League tip of the week?
This tip goes out to parents, and it's a pretty simple notion, But for some reason, sometimes it's kind of hard to grasp for parents. But parents, buy in. You got to buy in, parents. You may not always like the way your team is ran. You may not always like the way your child is being used. But from a team management standpoint, it is very important for you to buy in. Your coach cannot be at practice preaching about how your offense and defense are going to be ran and things and the way they're going to do things. And then as soon as your child get in the car, you start dog talking to coach about how he don't know what he doing and why y'all doing that and why y'all doing that. That causes your child not to want to listen when the coach is giving instructions on what to do. You got to buy in, parents. You got to buy in. You don't always get to pick who on your team. You don't always get to pick who your head coach is. Sometimes you just have to deal with what you're given. But coaches need for the parents to buy in. Because your kids going to follow y'all at the end of the day. Kids going to follow the parents. So what they hear at home, that's going to be in their head when they get to practice. So buy in, parents, especially when you're undefeated. When you're running a no-huddle spread offense and you're undefeated and you're center shotgun and snapping from one knee, and your defense playing good, just buy in, parents. It's only a season. Just buy in. That's my little league tip of the week.
Does that apply to fans? Are fans obligated to buy in, Coach?
Fans need to buy in too. Yeah, cause they ain't even got a dog in the fight. If you're a fan, you ain't even got a child out there. What else you gonna do? Either you're a fan of the team or you not.
Can you be a fan and be critical?
You can be critical. You can be critical. But at the end of the day, either you with the team or you not.
Mm-hmm.
Some things you just can't change. You can talk about it all day long, and it ain't gonna change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well,
but that's fine. It's fine to be critical. It's fine to be critical. But at the end of the day, really, how much control do you have over that other thing?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you T-Bone Pickens, Bobby Louder. But it's okay to be critical. That's the world we live in. But, at the end of the day, when that ball kicked off, man, you with them or you're against them. Ain't no in between.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's my little beat. That's my tip of the week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Coach, I hear you. I'm not gonna. I agree with the parents, but with fans buying in, I'm not 100% sure I'm on board with that one, Coach. And I think based on the text messages and the conversation we had last night, I think you would understand why I may disagree with that statement.
That is your right, like Colin Kaepernick.
It is. I sit because I sit because others allowed me to stand, Coach. So let's get into it. We got SEC conversation. This is a SEC show, so we want to talk about SEC show. So we want to talk about the happenings in the SEC, Coach. Coach, SEC started off play Thursday night. Tennessee Appalachian State. That was an unenthused Tennessee football team. Not sure how much of that game you saw, but SEC kicked off Thursday night, this past Thursday, and South Carolina and Vanderbilt also. Derek Mason, that was very disappointing. Anything you want to say or touch on about those games, Coach?
Yeah, from a Tennessee standpoint, Tennessee fans, chill out. Chill out.
There you go, Coach.
You want to know, be happy with that. Again, the sample size is small. Appalachian State, we don't know how good they are. They could be this year's Jacksonville State. We don't really know. You see the name Appalachian State, and you just automatically figure it's going to be a blowout because everybody telling y'all supposed to be that good. There is something to say for a game one, and that is the only game that you have played thus far. I think there is something to say about the team being uninspired, Crunk up being ready to play. They probably thought it was going to be a cakewalk also. So, just chill out. It's week one. The Vanderbilt South Carolina game, all that I guess I say about that is that, a lot of people looked at the fact that how South Carolina was able to find some offense when they switched their quarterback. But what I looked at when I saw that game is it's really telling to where Vanderbilt is as a team. I mean, you think about it, people talked about how they got a lot of guys come back on defense and all that, but they just tell you how hard it is to coach at Vanderbilt. Even when they played a South Carolina team with a brand new head coach, couldn't find a quarterback, a team that's down talent-wise, Vanderbilt still wasn't good enough to win that game. That's what I looked at when I saw that game is how tough it is to coach at Vanderbilt. I mean, you got a South Carolina team that is down athletically, and they got all this stuff going on, and you still wasn't good enough to beat them, at home. That's what I saw in that game. But I thought it was a hard-fought ball game by both teams, and it'll be interesting how the two teams build off of this as they go on in the future.
Tennessee fans, chill out. Coach was exactly right. Chill out. You got the W. You got the victory. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't sweet. Still not a fan of Bush Jones. Me personally, I didn't like the hire. Coach, I saw back in 2012, I sent an email out that I didn't like that hire, the Bush Jones hire. But we'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. We'll see what they are really, how good they really are. But the running game couldn't get going, which is going to be some of my common themes that you're going to hear from us as we preview these teams. But Tennessee fans, just chill out. Let's see what happens over the course. The cliche. What's the cliche, Coach? You get better from you get the most improved from week 1 to week 2. So let's see how they look week 2. But you got the W. Appalachian State looked good, boy. They got two guys. They had a senior quarter. Hey, Coach, this was the analogy that I talked to. Don't put your hands on me with that game. You know what that game kind of reminded me of, Coach? You know how you watch March Madness, and you see those senior teams like the Weber States that are senior heavy in tournament play, playing against a young or playing against a talented Kentucky team, and you know how those senior experienced teams are able to compete against these young talented UConn John Calipari teams. That's what that reminded me of. You got what you think about that analogy, Coach?
Oh yeah, I thought that spot on.
Yeah, you had an Appalachian State that had a senior quarterback that looks like he's been in the fire before. You have a running back, that Marcus Cox kid, Coach. He can run the ball for Appalachian State. Point blank, period. They got a kid Law that played defense. That was their top. They got NFL caliber players on that Appalachian State team. So and there was some inexperience on the Tennessee side of the football. So you got the W. That team was able to find a way to win, period. Vanderbilt, very disappointing in Vanderbilt. Game that I had Derek Mason winning. At this stage in the game, I was thinking and hoping that he might get 2 SEC wins this year. I had penciled that as 1. I think he's going to be praying to get 2. And we didn't even mention earlier, Missouri lost, Coach. Missouri lost to West Virginia. So that's another SEC loss as well. So very disappointing in how Vanderbilt played. But I was happy for Muschamp. And I saw, Coach, I don't know if you saw the end of that game when that guy kicked that field goal, but there was an embrace between T-Rob and Coach Wilchamp that to me showed me that those two guys really like each other, man. Like they really connect that at some type of level. So I was glad for that for Will Muschamp to get that win. And he actually kept his cool on the sideline. I could tell that that's something he's working on. So congratulations to Coach T. Rob and Coach Will Muschamp for pulling out the victory. And shout out to the Gamecocks. So we let's fast forward. Saturday, a lot of games in the SEC. Pick one and go with it.
I mean, I guess I'll start off with the obvious. Our Auburn Tigers. I thought our defense played well enough to win. Obviously, the offense is at an all-time probably rock bottom right now. I have no idea what our game plan was from a offensive standpoint point as far as the rotation of the quarterback. Gus Malzahn was very aggravated and irritated last night during the post-game show about people asking him, but if you didn't see that coming, then he's blind. But people just want answers as far as but he keeps saying that that was the plan all along, and that it's a possibility that it could continue. So I have no idea where that was coming from. LSU, man.
Well, can I say something? Can I say something about that?
Oh, okay. My bad. Go ahead. My bad. I know we were going one by one. Go ahead.
Well, let's do it. Can I say something about that game? Very, very, very. I was pleased at the way the defense played. Again, a lot of overreaction to the play of Carlton Davis from the Flip Phone Society. I thought the kid did the best he could do. I mean, you playing against a potential All-American wide receiver in Williams, and I felt like the kid covered as best he could. Dabo was able to find a strength on his team, and he exploited on the offense side of the ball, but the defense was able to hold that offense to 19 points, and they contained Deshaun Watson. I don't know what the hell we doing on offense, Coach. I've never heard of a package offense. And for us to have a guy that's supposed to be this offensive guru, Coach, we are literally on offense. We look like a high school football team. When I can decipher the type of runs we're gonna do or what the next play is, Coach, it's embarrassing. That was piss poor on the offensive side of football. Ain't no other way to put it. When you have to play three quarterbacks, Coach, John Franklin, J5 was put in the game to hand the ball off. He was not gonna run that ball. Every single play was a handoff. I don't think there was a read call, and this is another thing that get me, Coach. Coach, would you agree that just because it looks like a zone read doesn't mean the play is a zone read? Would you agree with that, Coach?
Yes. There are times where you block it like a zone read, but it's an automatic give. There are automatic gives sometimes. I personally think John Franklin did have some reads last night. I know late in the game, he gave the ball one time, and Coach Lashley was talking to him on the sideline about he should have kept that one and pulled it and ran it. I do think that when he came in the game, in my opinion, that Clemson got upfield to force him to hand the ball off instead of allowing him to run it, but that's neither here or there. But yes, there are
that's neither here nor there. The point I wanted to make is that oftentimes on the Flip Phone Society, everybody believes that it's going to be an automatic just because it looks like a zone read is a zone read. I guess the point I wanted to make, Coach, is that it's not always a zone read. That it can be a give. And then also with just the flipping and flopping the quarterbacks was just disgraceful. I have no idea why we're doing a double fake. Coach, why do you do a double fake when you got to get the ball down the field? There's no need. But anyway, that's my analysis. I think that Defensively, we look amazing. Best defensive game or the best defensive performance I've seen from an Auburn defense since the early Tub days, which is a huge compliment. Offensively, I don't think we have a clue on offense, and I think we're going to struggle to put points on the board because I don't see where we have playmakers. And I don't even see why some of our playmakers weren't even in the game, like a Jason Smith or something like that. So we'll see how things evolve, Coach. But if we can't find ways to put points on the board, I feel like we're going to struggle. And I just hope that by game 4, game 5, the defense doesn't get so frustrated at having the whole team to so many low points that they just give up on the season because of the play of the offense. Last thing I like to say is that I did appreciate the fight in the Auburn Tigers. They fought to the end. And that's the only thing you can ask for. When you have a team that's fighting to the end and not giving up, that's a sign of a team that could be good. I'm done.
My next game I'd like to touch on personally is the LSU-Wisconsin game. I definitely did not see this coming. I felt like, I honestly, I've talked about the LSU passing game and Brandon Harris, but I didn't even think that they would even those two things would even come into play in this game. I thought LSU would pretty much just line up and run the football right at Wisconsin, in which they tried Leonard Fournette, 23 carries, 138 yards, no touchdowns. This, in my opinion, this is what I feel like going to be the common thing with LSU. I think the blueprint is out there. I think it's actually been out there, but some teams just aren't talented enough to do it, and that is to line up, stop the run, and force them to throw the football. For the life of me, again, I just don't understand what is going on with the passing game at the University of LSU. I do not think it's all on Brandon Harris. I also think some of it is play calling. But shout out to Wisconsin, man. That was a big victory for their team, their league. Wisconsin is a team that most people in their conference has not been talking about. So who knows how this could prepare them for the future.
Is Brandon Harris the SEC quarterback to you, Coach?
I'm going to say no, man. I don't really think – I'm going to say no just for the fact that he really – I don't watch them that extensive to know the real answer to this, but I can't recall him ever just winning a game with his arm or having to. Either he ain't never had to or he ain't never done it. You really, when you look at an SEC quarterback, I guess the thing I think about is when the chips are on the table, can this guy pull out a game with his arms against a quality team? That's one thing for him to do it against Vanderbilt, but against a quality team that, we all respect, can he do that? And I don't recall him ever doing that. Maybe he has, but for that reason, I'm going to say no.
Coach, obviously you think you know the answer that I think. I think he is. I think he's an SEC quarterback. Let's talk LSU. And Coach, I'm going to go ahead and bring out my philosophy from what I saw from the SEC teams this week. And it started with Tennessee, and then I kind of watched it over the next few games. Very evident in the LSU game. The reason why the SEC struggled this week, Coach. You want to know why, Coach? You want to know why is SEC still the top conference? Yes, they are. Let's not panic. SEC is the best conference in the country. Are they the best conference by a lot of bit? No, they're not. The separation between the SEC and the Big Ten, or the SEC and the ACC, the SEC and the Pac-12 has declined. We're not that much better. But you want to know why, Coach? The reason why is because of the line of scrimmage. On the defensive side of the ball, SEC continues to have depth on the defensive side of the ball, defensive line. The problem is that the offensive side of the ball, the offensive line in the SEC has taken a step backwards. Well, let me correct myself. I'm not going to say the offensive line player is taking a step backwards. What I'm going to say is that the talent on the defensive side of the ball for these other opponents has improved. How about that? How that sound? That sound better? So when you look at an Appalachian State, when you look at a Wisconsin defensive line, Appalachian State defensive line dominated the line of scrimmage. You can say the same thing for Auburn. Clemson game. Clemson defensive line dominated the line of scrimmage. And on the offensive side of the football, the SEC's teams did not get any pushback at all. That's going to go for the Mississippi State game. That's going to go for the Kentucky game. They're evident in the LSU-Wisconsin game. There were many times where the offensive line for all these SEC schools, Coach, they could not push back the lines of the opponent teams. And I feel like that's my theory, Coach. I want to get it on record. And when watching LSU, Leonard Fournette could not get going the way Leonard Fournette gets going. And a lot of that was because of the J.J. Watt brother, the Watt kid, and all these other defensive linemen taking up the space and allowing their linebackers to make plays, and they could never get going. Is Harris a SEC quarterback? I think he is, but I also feel as though there needs to be some maturation. The kid got to grow up like now. You know, I was wrong. I didn't call it. I predicted LSU to go undefeated this year. Well, that's out of the book, so we can get past that. We ain't got to bring that one back up no more.
Well, I mean, I
What
hear
you think about that theory?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's something also to be said for, again, like we said earlier, game one. You know, I was listening to a post-game show last night, and an SEC offense coordinator was talking about how, you know, when they came out in the first half, how the opponent did some things totally different than they did last year. So it took the offensive line a little while to get used to it and stuff like that. I think that's also something that can be said. But in LSU's case, I think it's just a situation of teams are stacking the box. I mean, come on now. When you play LSU, you know the number one.
But also, Coach, they're going to stack the box. That's true. But also, let's be fair to LSU. They basically played a road game. So you asking that's a big ass now. So I don't take away that loss as a big deal. LSU fans need to calm down because again, they were playing against a Power 5 conference team and on the road at Lambeau Field. That was a away game. Same thing go to Clemson. Clemson, even though Clemson, you know, that people want them to put up more points, they played on the road at night in a hostile environment. That is a big win. You know. So for LSU fans, chill out. You know, chill out.
I think the next game
Let's talk A&M.
Georgia.
Let's talk A&M, Coach.
All right. A&M.
Did you see any of that game?
Saw a good bit of that game. You know, A&M, you know, UCLA get out to a 3-0 lead. Then, you know, A&M go up 10-6. I mean 10-9. And then A&M come out with a barrage in the third quarter, have a great third quarter, drop 14 points, and then here comes UCLA. What I took away from this game is that first of all, the Josh Rosen kid, he still got a little ways to go, but I like that kid.
He can make the pass, kind of coach. He can make the throw.
I like that kid.
He'll be a first round draft. He'll be a first round draft pick in a year in the 2018 draft. He first round draft pick, coach.
This Texas A&M team, I think, gonna go where Trevor Knight take them.
Not impressed. I
Um,
wasn't impressed with that kid at all.
this team gonna go wherever he take them. I think. They ain't never been. I mean, now Trayvon Williams ran the ball pretty well. He probably had a little under 100 yards rushing for them. They ain't never been a real big time rushing football team, so it's gonna be done through the air. Trevor Knight, he was about 22, 42, 239 yards, one touchdown, one INT. And them, man, I really don't know. Again, we'll see, man. I thought they played well right there at the end, which is something that a team that's had a lot of turmoil as far as quarterback position, finding a way to stick together and to pull a game out like that, I think can help them in the long run. They almost had some costly penalties there late in the game that almost screwed them up. But it's going to be interesting to see where this team goes from here. UCLA, I'm not sure how good they really are, man. I think they got a bunch of younger players. They had a little bit of turnover in their roster this year, so it'll be interesting to see how they grow. Texas A&M, they're about where I thought they would be. It'll be interesting to see them against teams with a little bit more athleticism and teams that are a little bit more seasoned to see how they react. But definitely congratulations to them for how they played.
Wasn't impressed, Coach. I wasn't impressed at all with the play of Trevor Knight. The Josh Rosen kid could play. A lot of teams are picking UCLA to win the Pac-12, Coach, based off their schedule. Apparently, their schedule, they don't play against tough teams in the Pac-12, so they think they're going to be able to escape and make it to the championship game. But not impressed with them at all, Coach. I wasn't impressed with Trevor Knight. I felt like I was actually impressed with the way Texas A&M defense played in the red zone. I think that's going to be another thing to watch out for, Coach. And I said this 3 or 4 years ago with these spread offenses, Coach. You really can't grade a defense based off of how teams play between each 20. Really, the way you grade, and this goes back to the Nick Marshall, Nick Fairley days at Auburn. The way you grade the success of a defense in this era, to me, is how they play in the red zone. And Texas A&M won that football game with their play in between. In the red zone, not allowing UCLA to score touchdowns, but forcing them to get 3 points, and that was, I think, critical. I did not like the way Texas A&M finished the game. I think it took a lot of balls for Kevin Sumlin on that 4th down and 1 in the first overtime, Coach, for him to go for it. I would have went for it. I thought he did the right thing in going for it. But then for him to basically call to fake the give and for Trevor Knight to keep it on the quarterback because he knew everybody would crash hard. I thought that took a lot of balls, Coach. And because of that, I thought that was a really, really big victory for Kevin Sumlin. And I think that because of that, they'll propel to the next level. So I think that's a great way for them to kick off their team. Kevin Sumlin's not on the hot seat. We can stop that conversation now. We don't need to discuss Kevin Sumlin. He'll be there next year. So get Texas A&M fans, he will be there. So let's not even start that conversation. What you got next, Coach?
I feel the same way about Dan Mullen. I don't think he's on the hot seat. I really don't.
That was horrible, Coach. That was horrible.
Yeah, it was. But as far as the hot seat's concerned, he's done more in these last couple of years than Mississippi State can ever dream of. If they think about putting that man on the hot seat, they crazy. He just gave them their best player they done ever had in school history. He done prepared them to life that they ain't never had in their school history. So to put him on the hot seat for losing this game, I don't think it's right. So in my opinion, I don't think he should be on the hot seat. But instead of talking about Mississippi State, I'm gonna shout out the South Alabama Jaguars.
That's what I wanted to
First
do.
ever,
Go ahead, coach. Go ahead, coach.
first ever victory against an SEC opponent on the road in the SEC. And a special shout out, I should have did it earlier, to Dallas Davis. 24-34, 285 yards and 2 touchdowns versus an SEC opponent. I'm going to say it again. I said it during the preseason. No Dak.
Coach, where is South Alabama from, coach? Where are they at?
They in the Port City.
Mobile, Alabama. Home tight. Coach, yeah, big shout out to South Alabama. Mississippi State gonna struggle this year. I think we all predicted that. We did not predict this loss. I didn't see the entire game. I saw the last few minutes of the game, the upset. Coach, the kid had an opportunity to win the game. The kicker, I think he was kicking a 23-yard field goal or something along those lines. And Coach, help me understand this. I'm not a big fan. South Alabama almost lost that game. So South Alabama goes down to score, coach, to take the lead. It's like 48 seconds left in the game. They got the lead. On the kickoff, they scrub kicks the ball and it goes out of bounds. Why are you scrub kicking it when you've kicked it deep the entire game and been able to hold the kid? And you've been able to hold the kid. They scrub kick the ball, goes out of bounds. Now Mississippi State gets the football in a reasonable position with the opportunity to get in full field goal range. Kid drives them down the field. They get in field goal range. Kid kicks the ball, hits the left upright, ricochets left versus right, and they lose the football game. But I never understood the thought process at that time. I don't understand that. Maybe you got some insight, but just kick the ball deep. You know, that's my thought process. What do you think, Coach?
Yeah, I don't understand that either. To me, you either don't have any faith in your kicker getting it in the end zone, or you ain't got no faith in your coverage team. Just kick the ball deep, force them to go 80 yards.
The length of the field. Force them to go the length of the field. Yeah, force them to go the length of the field. So
I don't
they
understand
almost lost that game. Yeah, it's almost like you start getting tight. So just kick it the length of the field. But long story short, they got the victory. Shout out to those guys and to those teams. Cole, did we need to talk about any of the SEC schools this week, or Kentucky? That was very disappointing loss. I watched that game, and the reason I watched that game, Coach, was because of the spread, and I'll leave it at that. Maybe you get it, maybe you don't. For those that don't get it, but because of their loss, that spread that hurt me, I'll leave it like that, Coach. That was ridiculous. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think last thing I wanted to mention was.
Oh, we didn't talk about Georgia either. I apologize.
Yeah, two teams that came into the day that took their quarterback issues down to the wire and decided not to play 3 or 4 quarterbacks with Georgia and Alabama, and both of them ended up going with the guy that didn't start the game.
Oh, we didn't talk about Alabama either, did we? Go ahead, Coach. I apologize.
Jacob Eason of Georgia came into the game and sparked the Bulldogs. I'll be surprised if he's not their starter from this point on. Grayson Lambert was the starter in that game. Real tight quarterback battle going down to the first game. And Lambert got the start, but Jacob Eason finished. I'll be shocked if he didn't get the start for next week. Like I said earlier about Nick Chubb, I thought Georgia played a real good game. Congratulations, Kirby Smart, for getting that first victory. And then you got Alabama. Again, another team. They started Blake Burnett, and then Jalen Hurts comes in, and he seems to be maybe that guy. So again, we'll see if Hurts get the start for next week. Two teams that are projected to be who are usually two top SEC schools that came in with quarterback issues may have found them worked out. The other, speaking of Alabama, other than the quarterback spot, the one other spot on the team that I was really looking for to see who would be that next guy was in the running game. It looks like Damian Harris may be that guy for Alabama. He had 9 carries for 138 yards, a long run of 73 yards. He looks like he may end up being that guy in the backfield for Alabama. But
the breakout player. Go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry.
Very impressive victory by Alabama. They did what I thought they were going to do, just very methodical in what they do. That program is definitely entrenched now to where they're going to bring new players in, and the train's going to keep rolling. And congratulations to Georgia. We'll see how far Kirby Smart can take that train.
I didn't see a lot of the Georgia game, so I can't really speak to that game. I did see the quarterback change. I did see Nick Chubb. He was able to get. It was good to see Nick Chubb back out there on the football field, score some points. Shout out to, again, but I do want to shout out Kirby Smart. He got the W against a very talented North Carolina football team. Didn't see a lot of that game, but that was good. But the Alabama game, Coach Hurts. Saw the Hurts kid play again. Was surprised to see the Hurts kid play so many snaps. Kid can play. He's able to, some of his check downs and some of the things he was able to do, specifically identifying the Stewart kid, who I think the Stewart kid probably had the biggest night of all of them. Had some really big catches and runs. He kind of was the playmaker last night for that football team. But the Hurts kid, Coach, if he is the starting quarterback, then we're gonna have to face that kid three or 4 more years, and that's gonna be tough because he's only gonna get better. I'd be interested to see what happens if he wins the starting job with the other guy, the freshman guy that started the game. What was his name, Coach? The one that started the game?
I was looking for his name. Starter Blake Barnett.
Yeah, Barnett, the Barnett kid. I'd be surprised if the Barnett kid doesn't transfer in a few years from now. And the Cooper Bateman kid, he must be absolutely not impressive, because I was surprised that he didn't touch the field. I was surprised at that. So shout out to Hurts. Shout out to Coach Lane Kiffin. He obviously knows what he's doing. Would you agree with that statement?
Oh, yeah, I think he's great at offense. The question is, can he be a head coach? Some people are just made to be coordinators or position coaches. That's the big question about Lane. Can he be a head coach? I think he'll get another opportunity. And speaking of that, something just came across the wire. Breaking news, former USC coach Steve Sarkisian to meet with Alabama about joining staff as offensive assistant.
Was he on Lane Kiffin's staff?
I'm not sure if he was on Lane Kiffin's
I think he was at Washington.
I think he was.
Okay. I can't remember. I think he was on his staff and then he went to Washington. So that would be interesting.
So now Nick Saban is the coach whisperer.
Oh, he's always been that coach. He's always been the coach whisperer.
Coach whisperer.
Yeah, he's always been the coach whisperer. He got 3 guys. He has 2 guys coaching. 3. He has three of his disciples as head coaches in the Southeastern Conference. All of them in the East Division, Coach. Is there any other coach you can say that has that? No. He's definitely the coach. Nick Saban is Saban the Great. You have to salute that man. You may not like the program, you may not like Bama fans, but would you not take Nick Saban over the guy we got at Auburn right now?
Yesterday.
Coach, I didn't see. Did you watch any of that Florida game, Coach? I didn't watch any of it, but
no, I didn't know.
I was disappointed. I was disappointed in the score. It looked like Florida struggled to score. I'll probably watch some of it this week, but Florida didn't look like they can score the football. I think the SEC is down this year from a quarterback standpoint. Now
they got a young guy. They got a young guy at quarterback too. I think everybody here freshman. They started a young guy at quarterback, Luke Del Rio.
Yeah, they started that young guy first, so we'll see. 'Cause I think the SEC is down this year from a quarterback standpoint. Now they got a young guy at quarterback too. I think everybody here freshman. They started a young guy at quarterback, Del Rio. Yeah, they started that young guy first, so we'll see. So that was that, Coach. That's all I got. Anything else you wanted to touch on from this week? I think Ole Miss haven't played yet. They'll play tomorrow. Not looking from a lot. I think, again, LOS, line of scrimmage play, is not great. I'm not impressed with the line of scrimmage play, but like you said, it's week 1, so maybe I need to calm down too. But can we watch that theory over the next few weeks, Coach? Can we watch that theory?
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Oh yeah. Sample size will grow as we.
Okay, but do you agree that that's something that I bring that to the table, Coach?
Oh yeah.
No, you didn't want to give me credit. You didn't, Coach. Let me say this, Coach. I had a fan you know what a listener to the show text me and said? You want to know what a listener to the show text me and said, Coach? He said, "Quote,
sure.
You called." He said, "Quote, you called it." You know what he said? I called.
Oh, what?
That we would play 3 quarterbacks in the first game.
Yeah, but again, look, my only problem with my co-host calling things is he only mentioned things he called right. He don't never mention things he called wrong. He'll be even across the board, and I ain't got no problem with calling stuff.
Well, I'm not wrong if I say I didn't call something right.
Now I will. I know, but whenever something come up that you call wrong, you just won't say I was wrong. But you did it today.
I have no problem. I have no problem.
You did. You have a problem. You have a problem. But you did it today. So
okay.
So I'm good with it.
That's all I wanted to say. He texted me, Coach. And like I said, I said this in April. I said we're gonna play 3 quarterbacks in one game, and guess what? The first 3 series, I was right. And then let me tell you what else I called, Coach. Can I tell you one more thing else I called? Let me read this. I wasn't gonna read this, but I'm gonna read it anyway, Coach. I know. We got to get up out of here, but I'm gonna read this anyway, Coach. I got to read this, just for the record. What do you think I'm gonna read, Coach?
There are probably a number of things. I have no clue.
Coach, on December the 4th, 2012, I sent out a December 4th, 2012 to the Flip Phone Society. I sent out an email. You want to know what the email read, Coach?
I'm pretty sure I already know.
Gus Malzahn is the wrong guy. Mark my word. Arkansas got it right. We got the wrong guy. That's a text message I sent. That's an email I sent December the 4th, 2012. I had been saving that email for today. That email was strategically sent for today because I knew the moment we hired Gus Malzahn, we hired the wrong guy. And you know how I knew that, Coach? Because in 2010 and 2011, I realized he was the wrong guy, and he wasn't offensive coordinator. I said, this is a dumb A hire if it is Gus. We effed up. These are my text messages, Coach. These are my emails, Coach. I just want a proven coach. That is all I want. Someone that is proven. All of this is on December 4th, 2012. I don't want Malzahn either. Coach, you want to know what Catfish said on 5/16/2013? You want to know what Gus with Catfish said? Gus with Catfish said, "This is my first time listening to this guy." And he's talking about an interview with Ryan Lashley. He may be young, but it sounds like he knows football. Looks like Gus has the right OC. Coach, the email don't lie, do it?
Well, I mean, not to argue against you, but what was wrong about what he said?
What was wrong about what Gus with Catfish just said?
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Lashley, did you see our offense on Saturday?
Okay, but I also saw your text messages on Saturday that the way you put all the blame on Gus Malzahn for calling the plays. So if that's the case, then why is Lashley? Why are you calling him out?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Good point.
I still stand by what I said. Lashley's OC by name. Gus make all the calls.
Yeah, he's OC by name. He's OC by name. Let's look at last week pick, Coach. So you took South Carolina. I took Vanderbilt. Coach, you got the victory. So, Coach, you got one. I took Clemson. You took Auburn. I get one. You took Missouri. I took West Virginia. I get one. So we both took Texas A&M, which I was surprised, Coach. In our pick'em, you didn't take Texas A&M. What made you change, Coach?
Well, this show happened so early, so you kind of gotta go with what you gut. Sometimes you change through the week.
I understand.
Picks ain't got to be in to Saturday, so.
Yeah, that's true. I understand. You took LSU. I took LSU. We don't get no points. I took Georgia. Coach, you took North Carolina. I took Georgia. I get the victory.
Yeah.
And we both took Alabama, which means that at the end of the week, I got 5 of them right. You got 2 of them right. As I stated to odds hackers, Josh Terry, Coach is not an expert.
I got 2 right.
Yeah, you only got 2 right this week, Coach. Can you tell me how you got more than 2 right? You got 3 right. Sorry. You got 3 right, Coach.
And you got 4, didn't you?
No, I got 5. I got 5 right, Coach.
Who the 5 you got?
I got Clemson, West Virginia, Texas A&M, Georgia, Alabama. That 5?
5.
Huh?
5.
Okay, you got 3 right, Coach. So you 3 for 7 this week. I'm 5 for 7 this week. So let's get into this week's picks. Coach, we're gonna pick all SEC games. Can we at least
one of them?
All right, let's do it, Coach. So I think we're gonna agree on some of these, but as I write down my stuff, we got UGA versus Nicholas State.
And Wana Ali.
Yep. I'm gonna watch that game. Yeah, we both gonna take the Dogs on that one. That's
Dogs.
Texas A&M Prairie View. I think we both gonna agree on this one.
Texas A&M.
See, this right here this is what I don't like, Coach. This right here gonna make your numbers look better than they really are.
No, at the end of the day, we picking the same games.
Yeah, but it's gonna inflate your number. Florida, Kentucky. Who you got?
Gators.
Is at Florida. I'm taking Florida too, but I'm not impressed with either team. I'm taking Florida. Alabama, West Kentucky. Who you got?
Alabama.
I'm going with Nick Saban the Great. You got Mississippi, Ole Miss versus WOF, Wofford.
Ole Miss.
I'm going with Ole Miss too. This is the problem with week 2. All they done played their tough teams in week 1, so you get a weak schedule for week 2. Oh, that's gonna be a good one. They got some good ones on here. I took Ole Miss, Coach. Vanderbilt, Middle Tennessee State University.
Middle Tennessee State.
Are you serious, Coach?
I think I'm serious.
Okay. I took Vandy. Mississippi State, South Carolina.
Mississippi State, South Carolina. Give me Dan Mullen to rebound.
I'm taking Mississippi. And the game is played at Mississippi State. I'm taking USC East. I'm taking USC East.
Give me the Cowbell.
Okay. Okay. I took Mississippi. I took USC East. We got TCU. We got Arkansas at TCU. Who you got? Arkansas didn't look too great either. That's a very interesting.
No, but then TCU give up some more points, and they got Kenny Trill Give me Bielema. Give me Bielema.
Coach, you know who came up with the name Kenny Trill? Bun B.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bun B, Coach. Shout out to Bun B. I'm gonna take Arkansas. I'm gonna stick with the SEC. Arkansas State at Auburn. Who you got?
Tigers.
I'm taking
Arkansas
Auburn.
State got blasted this past week.
Yes, to Toledo. That was embarrassing. Jacksonville State at LSU. That's gonna be a good game, Coach. I'm interested in watching. I'm gonna watch.
I know.
I'm actually. I think that's a good game, Coach. I'm interested in seeing that one.
I'm going LSU just because Jacksonville State lost a lot off that defensive line last year, and I think they're gonna need that. Yeah, I'm going LSU.
Yeah, I'm going LSU, but I want to see what Rock Thomas do in that game. That's going to be an interesting game. I'm going to watch that one. One thing that's interesting, Coach, was Devontae Sigler. He was dropped from the Pittsburgh Steelers this past week, Coach. He didn't make it.
Dang. I hate that.
I hate that, too. EMU versus Missouri. Who you got?
Eastern Michigan.
You got who? No, you don't. Are you serious?
I'm serious. I'm taking Eastern Michigan.
I took Missouri. Wow, I wasn't expecting that one. Okay. Are you serious, Coach?
As a heart attack.
I took Missouri. You got VTech versus Tennessee. Who you got?
I'm going with Rocky Top.
I'm going Tennessee. That's going to be played at Bristol Speedway, Coach. They said it's going to be the largest crowd. That's going to be the largest crowd ever in the history.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They've been
150 fans. Supposed to be 150 fans in attendance.
Yeah, they've been pumping that game up for a while.
Yep. So that's the picks for the week, Coach. So let's get up out of here. Coach, I saw Advocate everywhere, man. I saw Advocate.
Hey man, we make champions, baby.
I saw the commercials. I saw them on the billboards at the stadiums. I saw them everywhere. And what you got to say?
And you're gonna see the link on Instagram this week. We made champion, baby. Get on board.
Get on board. How that sport do you Friday, Coach?
Oh man, I was up ready to roll, man. I got home, I was still chugging. I wasn't up like don't put your hands on me, but I was good. I was good, but
don't put your hands on me. So he had to go take a walk, Coach.
Yeah, I went outside walking around the neighborhood, but I was good though.
Okay. Well, Coach, I enjoyed this, Coach. Coach, we bounced back from preseason last week. Had a lot of technical difficulties, but this week sound like we bounced back and we in full effect. So this is 1 week in the books.
Oh yeah, I want to get better from here.
Coach, let me tell you what else was good, Coach. Go ahead, Coach.
I was just gonna say, anything happen midweek, y'all make sure y'all tune to get on IG and anything like that. We'll be dropping stuff as it comes.
Oh, we definitely be dropping stuff as it comes. But one thing I also wanted to point out, Coach, it was good to hear Vern, Coach. This is Vern last year on the calling games, so it was good to see Vern and hear Vern, Coach. And let me tell you what else, Coach, was good to see Larry back, Coach. It was also good to see Larry. Did you see me drop that on IG, Coach? Did you see?
Yeah. Oh man, Larry.
It was good to see Larry.
Larry got to start selling something other than Dr. Pepper, man. Larry don't sell no Coke, no peanut, just Dr. Pepper.
It was good to see Larry back. So shout out to Larry. Shout out to Larry too, Coach. It was good to see him. It was good to see him too. So let's get up out of here. This is D1 Sports Talk Podcast. Coach, appreciate you recording early and getting this out of the way.
No doubt.
All right. Peace. We out of here. D1 Sports Talk Podcast, member of the New South Movement Network. You can catch us every Tuesday. We dropping gems. We dropping dimes, Coach. Every Tuesday, D1 Sports Talk Podcast. that Retroscope podcast. They're gonna be kicking off season 2 here shortly, every Monday. And obviously, you got Free Lunch Podcast every Thursday.
My gear be Taylor. Every day and then shout it, Mike Rock.